let us learn how to have various user interface components in an Ionic project. To start with, what we are going to do is, in the previous chapter, which is on services and storage, we have done a complete project. You have to copy that project. I have just copied, this is the actual project. I have just copied into another folder. You can name it, you can rename it, or you can keep it as Chapter 5 Service and Storage dash copy. Right? This is actually following a book named Ionic 6 Create Awesome Apps for iOS, Android, Desktop and Web by Andreas Dormann. So we are now referring to chapter number 6. Imagine you have copied the folder of chapter 5. Now please open up a command prompt. So I'm just opening a command prompt here. CD. I've already copied the link from there. So you can go here to this place, click on here, and then Control C, come down here to the command prompt, CD space, right click your mouse, and then click enter. So you are now into that folder. Now type in Ionic surf. Ionic space surf and press enter. This one will take some few seconds before it can start, and it opens up the app in the browser. In case it does not open, it gives you some error. You need to figure out, are you in the right Ionic project folder or not? If you are running from a folder which is not an Ionic project, then it will not open it in the browser. So it will take some few minutes time or few seconds, and then it will open it for you. By the way, this project is based on JSON files which are provided to you online, right? So these are 3 JSON files. One is called tours.json, second one is tourtypes.json, and the third one is regions.json. JSON comes in this format. You have the square bracket that encloses everything, and then inside you have the curly brackets. This is the first set of data. This is the second set. And you can see here, this is the third one. There are 3 sets of data here. And each one, you have a key value pair. This is the key and this is the value. Similarly, the key and the value are separated by a colon. So you have the key value, then a key value here. They are separated by a comma. Each key value pair is separated by a comma. So if you see here, this is BN as the ID, which is the value. Here is SA as the value. And here it is SM as the value, and so on, correct? So this is for the regions. If you move into 2 types, you will have probably different keys and values. Similarly, you have the tours as well. So you will find all of them provided here through a JSON file, through JSON files, okay? Remember, this is case sensitive. The URL is case sensitive. If you type tour uppercase types, right, and then press enter, you will get null. It is not there. It doesn't exist, correct? So make sure you have the right lowercase or uppercase accordingly. It's case sensitive in nature. So what I've done, I've just clicked on Ionic Serve, and this is the output of the Ionic Serve right now. Okay, it has regions. If I click on any regions, it lists me the regions. When I click on it, I get some details about it. Right now, there's nothing there. And then if I go to tour types, I can select from these types, and then I go into one of them, you will see the details, okay? Accordingly, you can get all these details here. So now, we are going to start creating some user interfaces. We will start with what is called as action sheet. To do this, you also need the code from the book. So this is the code from the book. This is for chapter 6. And you could see that is 2, 3, 4, and so on. Each one belongs to a specific step. We are now going to work on step number 2. Step number 1 is just an introduction. It says this app is going to have certain high-level blocks like cards, list, tabs, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is just introducing the chapter itself. And then we move on to action sheet, which is chapter number 2. What is the action sheet? Action sheet is nothing but it displays certain options, and then you have to remove that display. If you want to get away this display, you have to manually dismiss it. Okay, let's see an example and then you will figure out how it works. I'm just opening up the second one. Here we are going to work on the details page. Here it is, the details page. I'm going to have two notepads. One of them is from the book. One of them is the one we are going to work on. So let's say there are two notepad accounts we have, or notepad tabs we have. So let me close whatever is existing right now. I'm closing everything out here. Right, you could close them as a whole as well. So let's me move on. I'm going to open up the folder, which is this one here, which is the latest one, which I copied just now. SRC, app, pages, details, right? And then you open up the detail.html page here. So this is our original page. And then if you look at here, so let me close this one here, right? So it's a section 2, SRC, app, pages, details, and then let me open up the details page here. Okay. So the left screen is the file which I'm going to work on. Right screen is the one I'm going to refer to. Okay. So if you refer to them, you will see they have differences between them. Doesn't matter. We are going to work on them. So number one, you are going to create an action sheet. What do you do when you want to create an action sheet is this one. You can copy this part of the code and copy them inside the footer. Please watch out, the HTML page is made up of Ion header, Ion content, Ion footer. So you need to know where you are placing what. So in here, I'm going to place it in the footer here. So this is in the footer, I'm going to place them. Right, what is this? This is basically, I'm calling a function called as present action sheet. There is no such function for us right now. So if I click on this button, it's going to call that function. We are going to write that function as well. And we don't need the remaining parts here. So to comment in HTML, we do it like this. So it's basically less than symbol, exclamatory, double dash, and the end will be double dash with the closing symbol. Okay, greater than symbol. So I'm going to save it. Once I have saved, it could have updated my page here. You see, this is my page, the Ionic page on the browser. It says property present action sheet does not exist on the type detail page. So it says it doesn't know because I have not defined it. I have not written anything about it right now. Okay, let me go back here. To provide the code for this, I'm going to use the TS page, which is a TypeScript page. Okay, so let me open up. These are my files here. This is my original file. This is a file which I'm referring to from the book. Right, so here we are going to add the function for what is called present action sheet. Okay, it seems I have copied it into the wrong place here. So let me move it here. It should be here. Okay. So here, if I go down, I have this function called present action sheet. I want to copy this. Remember, this is outside the ng on init. So just go outside my ng on init and then paste it here. And it is inside the total class. This is the class. Okay, it is inside the class, but it is outside the ng on init. Let's save this and go back and see what is the error we are getting. It says action sheet control.create. So property action sheet control does not exist. It gives you, it says src app pages details.page, line number 41. So if I go down here, it is showing me line number 41, line 41. And this is the actual error it is giving to me. So it says it does not exist. Okay, this does not exist on type. So what is the problem here in this? Basically, you want to use action control, action sheet control. This you need to import. So let me just import it here. Okay, can import it here. Normally when I add, I will just write here, this is in step number 6.2, right? Action sheet. You can do this in all places if you want, or you can just leave it as well. Whichever is you are comfortable, you can use that way. Okay, so here we are at it. Now I'm pressing Control S. Still the error did not go. Okay, same error still persists. So what is the next step I got to do? The next step is, if you go to the constructor here, see there is a constructor for action control script or action sheet control. So you go here, put a comma here at the end, and then paste it here. Right? So remember, this is the case. So there is a bracket here, and there should be only one closing bracket. Right? So this is the action sheet controller, which I have imported from Angular, and this is the name I'm giving, which is action sheet control. That is the name here. So when I save this, the error which we got before should have gone right now. Okay, we should not have such an error now. So what really happened in our case here, right? So our changes, we were making our changes in details page. So if I go to regions, I click on any one of them. I click on any one of them here. This is the details page. So I click on these options. This is called action sheet. Okay. So you can see request, add to favorite, cancel. These things are there. So if I click cancel, it's going to go off. So if I go back and explain to you from the HTML page, here I'm just saying button, block, and then I'm just saying present action sheet. So this is the HTML page. This is basically to show that please bring it as a full width window. So it's like a block, which is full width, and it has rounded corners. Okay. This is what is meant in the HTML page. So if you go to the TS, which is a TypeScript, so here it is an async. It is an asynchronous function. And if you go in, it is called present action sheet, same name as here. And then here there are buttons here. Okay. There is button number 1, it is a request. Right. There's a header, which is a to, and there's button. You have a request, you have some handlers, and then you have second button here. There's a third one as well. Right. So if I click in here, you see there's a tool, which is the header. Request is the first one. Add to favorite is the second one. Cancel is the third one. Right. So when you click on request, it's going to call something. The handler is going to call something for you. Okay. Similarly, if you go into the second one, here it has remove from favorites, add to favorites. This is displayed depends on what is the value of is favorite. If is favorite is true, it will display remove from favorites. If is favorite is false, it will display add to favorites. Okay. And there is also a role property. A role basically depends on the platform in which you are running. Right. This is a destructive role. If it is true, then this is destructive. Otherwise, it's not. And the handler, if it is true, then you want to call a method called remove. Okay. And if it is false, meaning it is not added to the favorites, then you add it to the favorites. Okay. Using the method add. So you can see you have fav service, which is basically the favorite service. You can see this is the service app services favorites.service. So if you go to your folders, you go to app, you go to services, you will find you have favorite.service.ts. This has the method remove, this has the method add. These are the methods which are working when you're actually calling them here, right? So you're calling the remove, you're calling the add. So let me brief you a few points here when it says this dot is favorite. So you can see this word is favorite, okay? This is favorite is defined here in the class called details page. It is a Boolean variable initialized to false. And then you are getting the value, you are updating the value, this dot is favorite, meaning it is referring to the current value of is favorite. So this dot fav service has been defined. Fav service is defined as favorite service. Favorite service is defined through, is imported from favorites.service, which is this file here. Okay. So when I say this dot fav service, you are referring to this file here. And then it says dot fav ID. If I go here, I will find fav ID has been defined here. And then it says index of, you are reading from there. Okay, you are reading elements from that list. Similarly, you have one more button which is called cancel. Right. So cancel, its role is just to cancel, which means it will be only at the end. Like for example, if I come down here, copy this, I'm just going to remove it. I have Control X here. and I'm going to put it here. Don't forget the comma, right? Save it. Go back to your Ionic. By the way, every time you save, it will load. And sometimes if you have these kind of things, what you can do, just reload it. Okay. Go to the region, select one of them, go into this, click on this. You will see the cancel is still at the end. But in my listing, the cancel is after the request. Okay, it's after the request, but yet it is at the end. So cancel, if you mention it, the role of cancel as cancel, small c here, it means it will be the last in the list. Okay, it will be the last in that list. And then you want to wait. It is an asynchronous method, right? So you add it. Once everything is done, you say action sheet dot present. So avoid. You have to finish this before it can really call this method. Okay. Action sheet. If you click action sheet, it refers to the action controller, which you have defined already, which is using action sheet controller, which comes from Angular, right? And you are calling a method present there. So this is step one. Now you are able to add an action sheet to your code. Let's move on and try to do the next step. Okay. The next step we are going to do, I'm going to close this code here. Every time you're going to work on the codes provided to you, please note that you have to go from 02, 03, and so on and so forth in the book code. Okay. This is 03. I'm going to work on the alert. So in the case of alert, I'm going to app, go to pages, details, and then I'm going to open details.page.ts. Okay. So this is the file. In my actual code which I'm working on, I'm using the same code. I'm not changing any folders here. Right. Alert, as you know, it is just an alert. You want to show an alert to the user. So let's see what is that I need to add to enable an alert in my code. Correct. So step one is you have to introduce what is called as an alert controller. So let me go here. I'm going to introduce an alert controller and save it. Let's see what happens to my page. It says details.this and declaration module. It is not there. So it gives me an error about the details page. It also gives me error in the details page line number 29. There are two errors here. Okay. It says it is not there. It's not declared here. Let's look at the one we did right now. Alert control is there is no suitable injection token for parameter alert control. Okay. So it is not there. So let's try to correct these errors. Okay. So we need to look at all these errors. We need to know how to correct them. This is important. So this is one thing we need to add. Alert controller is also coming from the Angular. Okay. So you need to import, then only you can add it to your constructor. Right. Going back, the error is gone now, but we have not used it anyway. Right. We did not use it at any place. We just have imported it and we have also given in the constructor. So how should I use it right now? Okay. So I have to use a method called present alert. This is a method here. It is also an asynchronous method. So I added here. Right. Save it. Let's go back. See, is there any error? No error still. But if I go to the code, click on this, nothing happens. So just reload. Okay. If nothing happens, just reload. Nothing is happening right now. Right. If I click anything, right. Now no alert is coming. Basically, there is no alert right now. Right. So let's try to see how to get in the alert and the stuff here for me. Right. See, first time when I loaded, there was no regions. Now when I refresh, the regions come in. Sometime you need to reload. Okay. Going back here. Let me compare the codes here. Okay. So right now, there's a change here. Okay. This is the change. Initially, what we were doing, we were calling the remove method and the add method, which were from our service. Now, instead of using it, we are going to call, if it is in the favorite, call the present alert, which is here. You're going to call this. Okay. If not, you're going to use the add method, which is available in the actual service. So let's go back and then click on any one of them. Let's go here, let's go in, click this, let's say this. Okay, so going back, I'm going to click on this again. So remove, see, here is the alert. Why at the first time the alert did not come? Because first time it was not in the favorites, we are just adding it. So if you go back to the method here, if it is already in here, correct, then only it will come here. If it is not there, is favorite, if something is not present in the favorite, it's going to call the method add from the favorite service, okay, which is here, right, from the services. It's going to call and add it there. If it is already there, we are asking for an alert. So this is alert. Here again you have remove favorites. Okay. So click this. It says remove favorite. That is the header here. And then it says, do you want to? This is the message. And the buttons are two buttons. One is no, one is yes. If it is yes, we are going to call the remove method, which is available in the favorite service we have before. Okay. Same as here. I'm going to go back here. Alright, so this is the idea. This is called as alert. Okay, so this is the second step. Let's move on and we do what is called as badge. Okay, let's do a badge now. This is step number 3. So again, I need to close. I need to make sure I'm only loading basically step 4 right now, which is the badge. For the badge, we are going to use regions right now. Okay. So what is a badge? What does it do? Let's try to do some of this code. Let's see the output. Then you will know how it really differs. Okay. How it works, you could see the difference there. So I'm going to load the regions pages. So in here, we don't have regions. So this is from the code which we are working on right now. Go in, make sure it is the right folder. Yeah. So go to regions. You are going to load the regions HTML page as well as the TS page. There are 2 pages I have loaded, the HTML and the TS. Okay, this is book, which is in section 4, okay, which is the badge. So badge, basically, it is something that appears on the other. For example, let's say, here if I go in, right, if I go in here, I have Bond City. If I want to know how many options, how many tours are available inside Bond City, for example. Okay, I want to display the numbers. Let's see the code in operation, then it will be more easier for you to understand. So let's start with the TS file. Okay, the step to do is to have here, this is the part of the code we need it right now. Inside ng on init, after our regions line, I'm going to add this. Remember, it is inside, okay? When I save this, I would expect some kind of error in my page here. So it says error, region implicitly has an any type, cannot find this under dash. Okay. So let's see, 27, line number 21, it cannot find this dash. Number 2, it talks about this, line number 26, parameter region implicitly has an any type. These are 2 errors. So let's try to solve them one by one. Okay. Step 1, I'm going to solve this region error. Okay, I'm just going to put like this. So let me zoom in. So I just put bracket region colon any, save it, go back, that error is gone, right? Implicit any is gone. The next error is underscore. I know that this is coming from this, which is basically from Lodash, which I have not imported here. So let me go in and import the Lodash. Okay. So just come here, import Lodash, save. And then go back, see if there is any other error. It says here, could not find a declaration file for module Lodash. And then it says implicitly has any type and contain, declare, mode. It says some options. It gives you what to try. Okay. Actually, if you want to solve this problem, you just have to go above the import, /ts at ts, okay, /ignore. So / at ts -ignore. Save it. Now the error is gone. no more errors. Okay, just reload it, just in case you want to reload. Go to the regions, right? Bond city, there's nothing coming up here. So we have changed in the TS, but we have not done any change in the HTML file. That is why nothing is appearing right now. Okay, so let's go back to the regions.html, regions.page.html, and we need to add the badge here. This is the badge. Right, so if I go down, I'll find here the region's name. Please note it is inside the item. It's inside Ionic item here, right? Make sure you add things in the right spot. Okay. Right. Just save it. Now go back to our pages here. Just reload. You can see the number here. Right. This is what is called as a badge. See, Bond City. You can see what is that it is referring to. You can click on this, right? And if right now it is only in the tours page, sorry, the regions page, but if I go to the tours page, it is not there. So you can do the same thing for the tours page as well. Okay. So let me explain to you some few things here. When I say Ion badge dot end, this means display the count at the end of the page. Okay. So this is what is happening here. You can see it is on the edge. It's in the right corner. Okay. That is called as end of the page. And region.count is just counting for you. And how does it get this count? The count is received using this, right? So you are going to go here, and then for each of the region, you read them, and the filter is basically from the Lodash. It is going to filter based on the region you have selected, and then you're going to store that filtered values in the tours variable. And if you get the tours.length, it will tell you how many elements are there. You store it under region count. So this is the count you are referring there. Okay. So this is the same count, because here we call it as count here, region count. If you go here, we are using the same count, right? So that is the same thing we are going to refer in each places, both the places here. So let's do the same thing for the tours page. Okay, I'm going to go back. This is the book code. So I'm going to go and then get into the tours one. And I need to bring in the tours.page.html plus tourspages.ts. Similarly, I need to do for my own code, which is here. Okay, so this is tours types.page.html, tours types.page.ts. Right, so if I go and refer to it, I need these lines of code. Again, it should be inside the ng init. Just put in here, save it, and then I need the Lodash. Done, save. Right, both of them is done. You would expect the same error, like the Lodash error and the any type error. Go back to the same code, change both of them. Okay, here you say brackets colon any. This is one thing, you save, one error is gone. The other one, you can go up to the Lodash at ts-ignore. Save, that error is also gone. But nothing is displayed here because we did not add the badge here. So let's go back to the code to check HTML. Here is the badge. Copy. And then save it. Right now, if I go to the code, click on two types, you see the badges are there, similar to what happens in the regions. So this is called as badges. Okay. So we have seen action sheets, we have seen alerts, we have seen badges. Now, if you are going to look for buttons, for example, we have already done lots of buttons in the code, in the pages here. So buttons are nothing but they have a label, they have an action, you click on them, they go to the next page. They can also have attributes in terms of color, in terms of whatever attributes you can set up on, right? So we are not going to do anything for button, but button has been used in our code. Let's move on and do the next one. Okay, I'm going to go here. The next one is called as a card, right? So you can see there is no 05, it is 06 is the card. So in here, we are going to go and get in the details page. Pages, details. Let's open up our right window here. And then we need details.page.ts. We also will get the other two pages. Okay. In our code, we have to get the details now. So let's go and get from our own code here. Pages, details, and then we need the details.page.html, details.page.ts. We have got both of them here. So our strategy now is to add a card. Okay. So card is something like it has one component in which you have sub-components. You have a header, title, subtitle, there are contents, and so on and so forth. So let's go and do it. Let's try to do it here. So let's go to the details.page.ts. I'm going to add these two guys here. Okay, this is my page. You see, I don't have region has not been defined, tool type has not been defined. Okay, I've just added them here. Immediately I get some error. Property region has no initializer and it's not definitely assigned in the constructor. It has no initializer and not assigned in the constructor. Two of them for the region as well as the tool type. Okay, so let's go and check what is it. Is it something in the constructor? No, it is not there. So the idea is we have not initialized. Let's initialize them to empty string. Okay, so once I have done it, the error is gone. So I told you when you get something like this, you just reload the page. Okay, then it should be fine. Going back to the code, right? So here we have just added a variable. We did nothing, just added the variable, right? Now we want to add in the init part, ng init. Let's add these things here. After favorites, just go in, add them here. Right, I'm going to save them. So what I'm doing, I have a variable called region, which is this variable. This dot region actually refers to this guy here, and this dot tool types refers to this tool type here. And then I'm using the find, which is coming from Lodash. It's going to get the region. It's going to check that region. It's going to get the name of that region. Also, it's going to get the name of the tool type and store it here. Okay, we are just storing them here. The name of the tool type as well as the region is stored in the local variable called this dot region and this dot type. Now let's go back to details.page.html, which is here. In here, I'm now planning to display a few things here. Right. So this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to copy this. Right. I'm going to put them here, save it. Actually, we should take this line out. We will do that now. Don't worry. So where did we change? We did our changes in the details page. So let's go to a details page and check. Click the regions, click any one of them, click any one of them. This is the details page. This is actually the card here, you see. And in that card, what are the elements we have? So we can remove the first line, okay? Let's remove it, save it. Automatically it will load. Just reload, go back to regions again, just read something. Right, so this is what we want. So you have round trips. That is coming from the tool type slash region. That is why you have slash. There's a slash here, slash region, and then you want to display the title. This is the title. So you can see there is subtitle. The card has header. In the header, you have subtitle. You have the title, which is the title is a bold one, much bigger one. And then you close the header, then you have the content, you get the description here. Here is the description. This is called as the card. Okay. So now you can see it is displayed. So if I go and click something else, you will see the difference here. Right. It's just reading I'm going to give you. So if I go in to the tool types, click on one of them, you will get it here as well. Right. So it is now applied to both regions and tool types because we are working on the details page, which is applicable to both. So this is called as a card. So now what we have done, we have seen some scenarios. We have seen how to add action sheet, how to add an alert, how to add a badge, button. We have already done it. We have also seen a card. Okay. Let's pause it here and then we'll continue with others.